mga pinuno. Da! Mga pinuno dadala. Kalis. Talupad! Da!
We're pleased to announce the arrival of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Republic of the Philippines, Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines. We shall have the arrival honors.
Tangal! Ta! Mga pinutanghal. Ta!
Pangulo ng bansang Pilipinas, kaming lahat ay nagpupugay. Mamamayan at sa buong sambayanan, ika'y nagsisilbing gabay. Ang hiling namin kay basbasan ang Pangulo namin pinagpaalala upang bansang Pilipinas kaunlaran, kapayapaan ay makamtan.
Mga pinuno ba? Kalis. Dadala. Kalis.
Thank you. The audience may be seated.
Baba! Ta! Mahal na Pangulo, handa na pong tanod pandangal upang libutin. Tanghal! Ta! Mga pinutanghal. Ta! Mga pinubaba. Kalis. Nadala. Kalis. Baba! Ta! Mahal na Pangulo, tapos na po ang parangal. Yes, sir. Mga kasama, lubos na pasasalamat ang ipinapaabot ng ating mahal na Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa parangal na ipinagkaloob natin sa kanya ngayong hapon. Mga pinubaba, kalis.
Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Ikaw ang mag-aahon sa piling mo. Di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas. Tayo na,
Please be seated.
Mga pinunuan, nadala. Kalis.
hawak kamay tayo.
Pangkat! Bakanan! Kad!
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you all to the 82nd Armed Forces of the Philippines Anniversary Celebration with this year's anniversary theme, Protecting the People, Securing the State. Looking back, the Armed Forces of the Philippines was formally organized during the American Commonwealth era through the National Defense Act of 1935. During the Philippine Commonwealth period, President Manuel L. Quezon, the first president of the Commonwealth, renamed the Philippine Army to Armed Forces of the Philippines on December 21, 1935, in accordance with the National Defense Act of 1935. We shall begin with the ceremony.
You have just heard the attention call, which signals the entry of the troops for the ceremony.
From the right side of the grandstand, you're witnessing the entry of colors. The Philippine national flag and the colors of the major service commands and the General Headquarters Armed Forces of the Philippines being carried by the members of the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines, while the AFP massed colors are being carried by the members of the Philippine Marine Corps. From both sides of the grandstand, you're also witnessing the entry of the troops. It is a division size of troops composed of 2 brigades coming from the 3 branches of service, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, as well as the General Headquarters. To your left are the contingents in their gala uniform, while to your right are the contingents in their battle dress uniform.
The 1st Brigade in their gala attire consists of the ceremonial contingents from the Philippine Navy, the Philippine Air Force, the Philippine Army, and the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines. The 2nd Brigade in their battle dress attire is composed of the Special Operations Command, members of the Marine Corps, the Special Operations Wing of the Philippine Air Force, and the Army's Battalion of Excellence from the 2nd Infantry Division.
Over the years, as the global and national socio-political environment confronting our nation evolves and in the process brings new challenges, the Armed Forces has devoted its energy in transforming itself, holding fast to still relevant traditions while shutting off those that need reform. The AFP was once a force for independence against foreign powers and crusaders for the sovereignty of the Filipino people, but now it is a vanguard for external security, bringing peace to Filipino communities across the archipelago and paving the way for an environment conducive to unbridled prosperity.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines has been the Filipino people's staunchest defender and protector from any threat, anchored on collaboration, strengthened jointness, and strategic flexibility. On this occasion, the Armed Forces reassures the Filipino people of its unwavering commitment to the mission to ensure peace and foster nation building with its development support and security plan Kapayapaan and the thrust on the transformation of a professional, capable, responsive, and a world-class armed forces that is a source of national pride.
These troops, with their utmost commitment and dedication, are always present to extend their services for the Filipino nation and its people. Through the years, the armed forces have always been serving the Filipino people, especially those in need, through various operations and activities that help alleviate the plight and basic concerns of the people. They have proven their worth even more during the heights of the different calamities and emergencies that struck the country.
Anytime, anywhere, and whatever the situation calls for, the foot soldier, the airman, the sailor, and the marine will be there to serve in the spirit of cooperation to achieve peace, thus bringing progress and development in the archipelago.
Pasulong! Sampanaw! Top!
Ladies and gentlemen, before you is a representation of your armed forces.
The troop commander for the ceremony is Major General Nicolas C. Parilla, Commander, Air Mobility Command, Philippine Air Force.
Mahal na Pangulo, narito na po ang sampanaw.
As the President acknowledged, the report ceremony proceeds. Everyone is enjoined to stand for the invocation by Commodore Tirso A. Dolina, Chief Chaplain Service, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Let us pause in silence to offer a solemn prayer for the soul of every soldier who offered the ultimate sacrifice for peace and in defense of our homeland. Let us pray. O God, most holy and divine, we bow our heads to pray before your sacred presence in thanksgiving as we celebrate the 82nd anniversary of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. With fervent faith and devotion in our hearts, we profess our humble gratitude for all the blessings that you bestowed upon us through the years. We beseech you, O God, to infuse us with your divine wisdom, to derive from this celebration the moment, the memory, and the inspiration that we have envisioned in our roadmap towards authentic transformation. As we celebrate another milestone, we implore you, O God, to sustain us always with your grace, so that the sacrifice of every duty becomes an opportunity for sanctity, and the outstanding performance of every task rendered with dedication to live our core values of honor, service, and patriotism shall lead to the accomplishment of the mission. So accept our sacrifices, O God. These are offerings to manifest our commitment to our mandate to protect the people and to secure the state in the service of the Filipino nation. Continue to bestow your guidance on the Chief of Staff and all the commanders to turn to you for enlightenment, to discern and to decide what is necessary to attain peace with justice. Bless the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy and all our honored guests, with sincerity, we implore your distinct benediction on our Commander-in-Chief, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Finally, may the God of life, the God of providence, the God of our history and destiny, bless, protect, and prosper every Filipino and our country, the Philippines, in peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. The Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Ray Leonardo B. Guerrero, will now deliver his welcome address.
With the permission of the President, Troop Commander, please give it to us.
Tikas! Laporan, kas, na!
To our President and Commander-in-Chief, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, former President Fidel V. Ramos, also former Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Secretary Delfin N. Lorenzana, the Secretary of National Defense, Commodore Tirso Dolina, Chief Chaplain, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Senator Gregorio B. Honasan II, Secretary Benjamin Jokno of the Department of Budget and Management, Secretary Roy Simatu of the Department of Natural Resources, also a former Chief of Staff, members of the House of Representatives present, Congressman Manuel Jose Dalipe from Zamboanga City, Congressman Jerry P. Treñas from Iloilo, Congressman Amado Espino from Pangasinan, officials from Malacanang present, Executive Secretary Salvador Meljaldea, Secretary Arthur Tabaquero, the Presidential Advisor on Military Affairs, Secretary Christopher Lawrence Go, Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Hermogenes Esperon Jr., National Security Advisor, also a former Chief of Staff, Secretary Martin Andanar, Presidential Communications Operations Office, Secretary Salvador Panelo, Chief Presidential Legal Advisor, Director General Alex Monteagudo of NICA, former Secretaries of National Defense present. We have Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, Secretary Orlando Mercado, Secretary Walter Gasmin, other officials from the Department of National Defense, our Medal of Valor awardees and their families present, the former Chiefs of Staff present. We have Ambassador Benjamin Defensor Jr., General Dionisio Santiago, General Arnulfo Asedera Jr., Ambassador Alexander Llano, General Victor Ibrado, Undersecretary Manuel T. Bautista, Undersecretary Ricardo David Jr., General Gregorio P. Catapang Jr., General Ricardo Bisaya, General Hernando Iriberi, Undersecretary Eduardo Año and Mrs. Año, Lieutenant General Glorioso Miranda, Lieutenant General Salvador Melchor Mison Jr., the Vice Chief of Staff, Vice Admiral Narciso Bingson Jr., the Deputy Chief of Staff, Commodore Elson Hermohino of the Philippine Coast Guard, my wife Jane, Major Service Commanders present, Lieutenant General Rolando Joselito Bautista, the Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Galileo Gerald Quintanar Jr., the Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force, Rear Admiral Robert Empedrad, the Acting Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy, Unified Commanders and Commanders of Joint Task Force NCR present. We have Lieutenant General Emmanuel Salamat of NOLCOM, Lieutenant General Carlito Galvez of Westmincom, Lieutenant General Rosano Brigues of Westcom, Lieutenant General Benjamin Madrigal of Eastmincom, Major General Danilo Pamonag of Solcom, Major General Paul Atal of CENTCOM, and Brigadier General Jesus Malangkil, Commander of Joint Task Force NCR. We have also Undersecretary Alexander Pama, Undersecretary Bernadette Puya from the Department of Agriculture. Former Commanding Generals of the major services present, we have Lieutenant General Jaime de los Santos, Lieutenant General Oscar Abena, members of the Joint Personnel and Special Staff, and Commanders and Chiefs of the AP-wide support and separate units, other generals and flag officers and their ladies present, Colonel Ernest Lee, Chief JUSMAG Philippines, members of the Foreign Armed Forces Attaches led by the Dean, Captain Bradley White, our awardees for this year, our friends from the AFP Multi-Sector Governance Council, the different AFP financial institutions, Heroes Foundation and Association of General and Flag Officers, our enlisted personnel corps led by the AP Command Sergeant Major, First Chief Master Sergeant Lito Tompayogan, and the civilian employees of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, other government officials present, other AAP-affiliated organizations, our friends from the media, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is indeed my distinct honor to welcome you all to the 82nd founding anniversary of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Tatlong bagay ang tumatak sa kabuuan ng paglilingkod ng ating sandatahang lakas sa sambayanan nitong nakaraang taon. Tungkulin, katapatan, at paninindigan sa panatang ipagtanggol ang bayan at mamamayan. In fulfillment of our duty, your AAP has faced bullets, braved storms and tremors, and secured our borders and territorial waters, all in the service of our country and people. This year alone, 263 heroes made the ultimate sacrifice, and more than 2,000 of our troops were wounded in the front lines. Our commitment to the Filipino people drives us to stand strong and united in defense of our freedom and of our future. It is in the spirit of duty and commitment that we mark this occasion and welcome our distinguished guests, stakeholders, and friends. We thank our Commander-in-Chief, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for gracing this AAP Day celebration once again. Sa lahat ng oras at sa lahat ng bagay, laging nangunguna ang ating mahal na Pangulo sa pagbibigay ng suporta at lakas ng loob sa kasundalohang Pilipino. All that has been accomplished in 2017 is anchored on keeping our people safe and keeping our country secure. Of the many challenges that AFP faced this year, the Battle of Marawi was of much significance because of the decisiveness of the victory and the value of the lessons learned. As the AFP defended the city that was under siege then, we now share the responsibility of its rehabilitation, working together for the return to normalcy of the people of Marawi. The fight to win the peace in other parts of our country has been just as important. Our focused military operations also gained ground in thwarting insurgents and terrorists in the provinces of Bohol, Palawan, Batangas, South Cotabato, and the Sambasulta area. The fair and just implementation of martial law in Mindanao was also witnessed by the entire nation. Its proper implementation led not only to a decisive resolution of the Marawi conflict, but also brought relative peace in some parts of Mindanao. In the area of territorial defense, the AFP continued to monitor and patrol our engagements. We continue to expand our military cooperation with our neighboring countries. This year, the AFP hosted the 14th ASEAN Chiefs of Defense informal meeting, where regional security issues and enhanced defense cooperation were discussed. A trilateral cooperation agreement was also forged to address the common security concerns in our southern maritime area. In humanitarian assistance and disaster response, the AFP is again involved in the conduct of rescue, recovery, and relief operations in Samar, Leyte, Masbate, Romblon, and Mindoro, where Tropical Storm Urduha brought torrential rains. On organizational development, the AAP increased its force complement with the additional recruitment of 20,000 soldiers, as well as the activation of 10 infantry battalions and 1 Scout Ranger battalion. The ongoing reorganization of key units also ensured that the AFP remained responsive amidst the changing security environment while adhering to transparency and accountability standards. We also saw the delivery of new weapon systems and platforms. And as we await the delivery of additional equipment, we continue to improve our systems and processes to sustain and institutionalize the organizational reforms that were started years before. The President also made sure that the best medical care is given to our soldiers by procuring essential medical equipment for our medical treatment facilities. He also established a comprehensive social benefit program to cater to our combat casualties and their families. The AFP's record of accomplishment is in large part due to the guidance, support, and concern of our Commander-in-Chief. Mr. President, we express once again our utmost gratitude for all your support. Salamat po sa inyong malasakit sa mga sundalo. Asahan po ninyo ang aming masigasig at matapat na serbisyo sa lahat ng oras. Ito po ang aming pamamaraan na maipakita sa inyo at sa sambayan ng Pilipino ang aming pagpapahalaga sa inyong suporta at malasakit. We also thank Secretary Delfin Lorenzana for his guidance and supervision. We likewise acknowledge the valuable assistance of the local government units, stakeholders, and partners whose trust and confidence in the AFP motivate our men and women to work even harder. Last but not the least, we proudly salute our gallant soldiers, airmen, sailors, and marines whose duty, sacrifice, and commitment have made the AFP's victories possible. Our solid record of service over the 8 decades is proof that Team AFP will always be ready to ride the winds of change and protect the interests of our people. Patuloy po ang aming paglilingkod sa ngalan ng kalayaan, kapayapaan, at kinabukasan. Once again, welcome to the AFP's 82nd founding anniversary. Mabuhay po tayong lahat at magandang hapon sa ating lahat.
Kalupunan! Man!
Thank you to the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Sampanaw!
We shall move on to the presentation of Command and Honors.
Tanghal!
Everyone is requested to rise.
Kalupunan! Okay, kamay! Na!
Pangulo ng bansang Pilipinas, kaming lahat ay nagpupugay. Mamamayan at sa buong sambayanan, ika'y nagsisilbing gabay. Ang hiling namin kay Bathala, basbasan ang Pangulo naming pinagpala upang bansang Pilipinas taon-taon kapayapaan ay
Kalupunan! Baba kamay! Na!
The audience may be seated.
Baba! Ha!
In a short while, we'll witness the presentation of awards.
Ang taong may dalang parangal at ang watawat. Umarap at pumagit na Deskatamento. Sulong. Cut!
The 82nd AFP anniversary celebration is highlighted by the conferment of awards in recognition of the meritorious achievements and exemplary performances contributing to the accomplishments of the Armed Forces mandated mission.
Deskatamento. Cut! Mahal na Pangulo, ang mga taong paparangalan at ang watawat ay narito na po. Tanghal! Ta!
Please rise for the honors to the nation.
Mga pinuno, tanghal! Ta!
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa likid mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyang ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisigin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidiling. Lupa ng araw ng walhating pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pagpay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Mga pinuno, baba! Ta!
Please be seated.
Baba! Ta!
We shall proceed with the awarding ceremony.
For acts of conspicuous courage, gallantry, and intrepidity, above and beyond the call of duty, while serving as the commanding officer of the 11th Scout Ranger Pericoloso Company, 4th Scout Ranger Battalion, 1st Scout Ranger Regiment Special Operations Command during the Morawi Crisis, Captain Sandoval distinguished himself in combat as he displayed extraordinary courage, bravery, sterling leadership, and professionalism by offering the greatest sacrifice of giving his life to a fellow comrade, thereby keeping with the finest tradition of Filipino soldiery. The Medal for Valor and Lapu-Lapu Magalong Medal is presented to Captain Romel B. Sandoval, Officer-1426, 68 Philippine Army. The award will be received by Ms. Maria Ana Rosario E. Sandoval, the spouse of Captain Sandoval, and he will be assisted by Lieutenant Colonel Jose Jesus C. Luntok, Philippine Army General Staff Corps.
President Rodrigo Roa Duterte presents the award. The President is assisted by Secretary Delphine N. Lorenzana, the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Ray Leonardo Guerrero, and the Deputy Chief of Staff for Personnel J1, Major General Arnel M. Duco. We'll now have the awarding of the Order of Lapu-Lapu.
The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Magalong. The Order of Lapu-Lapu was established in 2017 and is conferred by the President of the Philippines in recognition of exemplary service rendered by officials and personnel of the government, as well as private individuals in significantly advancing a campaign or advocacy of the President, particularly acts of valor and kindness described as extraordinary acts of service and exceptional contributions to the country. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Magalong, is awarded to officials and personnel of the government and private individuals who have rendered extraordinary service or have made exceptional contributions to the success of an activity pursuant to a campaign or advocacy of the President. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Magalong, is hereby posthumously awarded to Captain Romel Sandoval, to be received by Mrs. Maria Ana Rosario Sandoval. Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Campilan. The Order of Lapu-Lapu was established in 2017 and is conferred by the President of the Philippines in recognition of exemplary service rendered by officials and personnel of the government, as well as private individuals in significantly advancing a campaign or advocacy of the President, particularly acts of valor and kindness described as extraordinary acts of service and exceptional contributions to the country. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Campilan, is awarded to officials and personnel of the government and private individuals who were seriously wounded or injured or suffered great loss of property as a direct result of their participation in an activity pursuant to a campaign or advocacy of the President. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Campilan, is hereby awarded to Lieutenant Colonel Ramon Flores. First Lieutenant Paul Albert Ematong. First Lieutenant Jerwin Valencia. First Lieutenant June Steve Puno. First Lieutenant Jeffrey Odmen. Surgeon Elmer Dagohoy. Surgeon Raymond Pokua. Corporal Leoprado Pendon. Corporal Irvin Dacumos. Corporal Nestor Sombrero. Corporal Ivan Lirazan. Corporal Eden Charles Baul. Corporal Jerome Benavente. Corporal Eduardo Villanueva Jr. Corporal Brian Harris Naelgas. Private First Class Genesis Pancho. Private First Class Francis Fabros. Private First Class Albert Laico. Private First Class Reynaldo Ugali Jr. Private First Class Sunmar Baktol. Private First Class Reni Abang. Private Marl Clifford Kaabay. Private Josel Servando. Major Engelberto Nyoda. Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi is awarded to officials and personnel of the government and private individuals who actively participated and contributed significantly to an activity pursuant to a campaign or advocacy of the President. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi is hereby awarded to Sergeant Edwin Osario. Sergeant Arwin Paderan. And finally, Corporal Henry Bitoon.
Thank you very much to President Duterte, to the Secretary of National Defense, and to the Chief of Staff.
Parlamento. Sumulunan. On.
The guest of honor will be introduced by Secretary Delphine N. Lorenzana, Department of National Defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Yes, sir. Kindly sit down. Thank you for your courtesy, sir. Things I would just like to communicate with you. Not, Commander, can we give the thing as pahinga? So that be comfortable here talking also.
Tikas! No! Laporan, Kas. Ayun na.
Salamat po. I have a prepared speech every time. But may pumapasok kasi ng mga extraneous topic that it's not because I want to ingratiate myself, but for the reason that it seems to be hindi alam ng lahat. Right after the war in Marawi, I released 500 million for intervention for those who were dead or wounded during the war. Pero mostly itong 500,000 would be interventions. And it included 500 million rather. 500 million it is in the hands of General Macario. Sabi ko, gastusin mo to for this sadly yung nawalaan ng paa, and I want them prosthetics, yung titanium. Pangalawa, right after here, I'll go to Vilona and the AFP. I will be giving monthly subsidy to the hospital, 250. Magkano yung bong? 150. Yung sa Vilona pati sa ano?
Veterans monthly. 50 million
Each monthly. Sa karami na pera ko, hindi ko na malaman ito na. I will subsidize yung medicines, especially those who are, they need the management for pills. It's 50 million monthly para sa AFP, pati 50 million sa Vilona. Doon na ninyo kunin yung ano ninyo, for those who are retired. I know that you have medicines to take, management for all the kind of ailment that a soldier suffers when he retires. Kasi baka hindi nyo alam yan, there's always the ready money. I'm going to deliver it right after this ceremony. Pupunta ako doon. So, let me greet you, mga kasama ko sa gobyerno, mga trabahante, ang ating mahal na Pangulo, President Ramos, ang mga bisita, and anong grupo nga kanyo? Media? Media. Mga kaibigan ko sa media. I congratulate the Armed Forces of the Philippines for more than 8 decades of honor, service, patriotism. To this day, you continue to play a crucial role in safeguarding our citizenry and securing our land. I salute the brave men and women of our Army, Air Force, and Navy for their courage, dedication, and sacrifice to liberate Marawi from the clutches of extremist terrorists and communist insurgents. Having said that, may I also extend my papasalamat sa ating mga pulis and the other uniformed men, personnel in government who fought alongside with you. The success, along with the recent neutralization of Isnilon Hapinon and his followers, further bolsters this administration's firm trust towards eliminating all terrorist groups in the country. We will not allow those who subscribe to the Daesh ideology to succeed. We will never allow the Islamic State to make the Philippines its regional center. Although we have already begun to build Marawi City and rehabilitate conflict-affected areas, our fight is far from over. We will remain vigilant as we continue our intensified military operation against the remaining terrorist groups. I now turn to favor our troops who made the supreme sacrifice, suffered injuries, and went beyond the call of duty. Be assured that the government will support all of your endeavors as we realize a stronger and more resilient government. Do not worry about your families. Do not kill yourself just thinking of what will happen tomorrow. As President Ramos aptly said once upon a time, tomorrow will take it of itself. But tomorrow, the Philippine government will always be there to see to it that your children will continue to go to school until college time. And as I've said, I made some proposals a few months ago that we are ready to surrender the real estate, your camps, just like what's happening in other cities. You can either go into a venture or you can go into leasing the prime estate. Total, kampo lang naman yan. You can choose anywhere outside here. But what is most important is that you have a fund ready and available for your families. I'm sorry that Carlos Dominguez III, our finance, ayaw niyang ibigay diretso. I really do not know the reason on. I do not ask. But he wants to build a mini, since you are not covered by the GSIS. He wants the money placed there, parang maliit na GSIS for you and the police. And we will give you the seed money. You know, guys, I'm sure that if it is just handled right, hindi na kayo maghirap mga edukasyon ng mga anak ninyo. All that I want to say is that an ordinary soldier can finance through education yung mga anak ninyo. I want a sergeant, a corporal, na yung anak ninyo pwede maging, as long as they have the brain, na they can continue to go to school and be a doctor, a lawyer, o sa postgraduate studies. Yan ang masahan ninyo. That's why I'm hurrying up Secretary Lorenzana, because I want to finish it in 1 year para wala na akong burden to be expecting all the time. I'm a kind of a person always in a hurry because, you know, the imponderables of life is we just are here for a limited time. Yan ang gusto kong mangyari. At kung sundin ninyo yung mga iba dito, but this time, you can be very sure that the money will go direct to you. Ang condition lang ni Finance Secretary is that there be some sort of a mutual, parang GSIS, and the money deposited in that entity, and it will be run by professionals. From whereof he speaks, I forgot the name of the father-in-law, but ang tatay ni Sonny Dominguez was once upon a time a general of the Air Force also. And maybe from whereof he speaks, he knows his business. So yan ang assurance ko sa inyo. I am in a hurry. Yesterday, I signed the General Appropriations Act for 2018. By the way, yung pera ninyo dyan, GSIS ninyo, it is not part of the yearly appropriation for the military organization. Hindi kasali yan. Yung year-to-year experience are found in the GAA, the General Appropriations. It's a more of a proprietary business that you can go into, and if handled carefully, you'll never be want of money. This is not money intended to buy bullets and arms, weaponry. It is purely a social welfare for the armed forces of the Philippines. And you might also include the police. This fulfills my campaign promise of doubling the basic pay. Kasi nandyan na saka ngayon yung increases ninyo for next year. Take a look at your paycheck, January. And I said this fulfills my campaign promise of doubling the basic pay of our hard-working men and women in uniform, which will take effect on the very first day of 2018. Alam ba ninyo na wag na lang ninyo ikwento, nagyabang tayo dito. They were in a quandary whether to fast-track the train or yung pay ninyo. And Dick Gordon just wanted that the money, part of the armed forces appropriation for infrastructure will be spent really for that purpose alone. And hindi naman ako nagpapahiro. Pero minsan, kung magkahiyaan, ibang istorya na yan. So because I promised you, I will double your salary. Sabi ko sa kanila, sabi ko to my aide, unahin na muna ninyo yung pangako ko. Kasi sabi ko, pag hindi niyo inulusot yan, I will resign as a matter of principle. Sinabi ko talaga sa kanya. So, in the order of things, nauna yung inyo bago yung train. Because they thought that it was the train appropriation was important to me. Sabi ko, okay, magkahiyaan tayo dito. Pag napahiya ako, I will resign. Kaya nauna yung dito yung sa inyong... No, you just can't imagine. You know, life is always timing. Right at the start of my administration, I promised you guys that I will double your salary. But the problem is there's such thing as a double na in parity talaga lahat. It's not allowed by law. So, but there's a considerable increase in your salary. Imagine kung naisipan ng gobyerno niyan matapos yung Marawis siege. Alam ko, maligayahanin kayo to a certain extent. But mabutit na lang, naisipan ko yun because I knew the dark clouds looming at the horizon. Kaya inuna ko na, kaya sabi ko, right at the start, dudublehin ko yung salary nyo next. That was the earlier part of 2027. Hindi talaga kamali. Yung command conference natin, I reminded you that, sabi ko, bantay kayo diyan. And hindi naman ako nagpapayabang, but I was the one who took it as the last item during the first command conference. Sabi ko, in the hindsight, do not forget of that. On the dot yun. And ito namang medals ninyo. I do not offend anybody here. Kasi ang mga Bisaya, walang hero. Yung sila Pulapo, yung unang pumatay ng imperialista. I think he was a Muslim. Yes, because sa archives sa Malaysia, once upon a time, I said I went around Southeast Asia to go into the archives in my extra time. Yung mga congressional visit namin, interparliamentary. At naisipan ko na talagang gugulo to. Long before the Marawi, sabi ko, I want to create a medal exclusively to be awarded by the office of the President. Hindi kailangan ako. Because I just see something, not really a sixth sense, but sabi ko, I would need to show my solidarity and gratitude to you guys. Sa awa ng Diyos, only that talaga. Matter of timing. And imagine if I just invented it for the first time after the siege. Masasabihin man niya, itong gobyerno na to, kung hindi tayo mamatay, kung wala tayo nakatay noon, ngayon lang tayo binibigyan ng increase. So right on the dot ako, sabi ko at this time, there will be some tumult in the country. So, yun that's the little, how would you call it, the niceties, the vignettes of life. Yung anong nangyari in between at anong napasok sa utak namin dito sa, we run the executive department. This complements our continued efforts to improve the capability of the AFP by modernizing military equipment and machinery. Having mentioned this, I have every confidence that we together as a force will embrace the changes that are necessary for continued development and work even harder to fulfill our duty and responsibility to protect the Filipino people. Again, happy 82nd anniversary at mabuhay ang sundalo ng Pilipinas. I salute you.
Thank you very much to President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Sampanaw!
Please be seated.
The Troop Commander, Major General Nicolas C. Parilla, will now report the termination of this ceremony.
Mahal na Pangulo, tapos na po ang seremonya. Mga pinuno, pamunuan.
We request everyone to remain seated until the President has left the area.
Pasulong likod sa kaliwa. Kad.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's commemoration of the 82nd anniversary celebration of the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Kumusta? Okay naman?